Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and today I have a guest on.
My name's Autumn. Hello.
And today we are talking about Bug's Life. We're going to be starting with what the description of the movie is. The description of the movie is, Flick is an inventive ant who's always messing things up for his colony. His latest mishap was destroying the food stores that were supposed to be used to pay off Grasshopper, named Hopper, named the strong arming insect is demanding that the ants gather double the food or face annihilation. To avert disaster, Flick goes on a journey to recruit fighters to defend the colony. When he meets a band of high-flying circus insects, he thinks he's found his salvation. So, that's the description of the movie. We're going to move on to what our review is on the movie. So, yeah. Autumn, you want to go ahead and start for us?
All right. I would definitely say the film was a 6.5. I gotta say, there's quite a few good aspects I liked. I think my standout is probably both the music. I think was really good. I like the orchestra sort of feel, and then I also gotta say I really like the blooper reel in the end, because it's just that little extra touch that's not needed, but it's just that little extra magic that I just don't think they got nowadays. Though overall, I feel the plot is a bit basic, a bit of a basic lie reveal at times, and I did find myself somewhat bored at times. But overall, consider the movie a positive experience at a 6.5.
Heck yeah. Fun fact, if you didn't know, that blooper reel though was probably one of the first time Disney has done an animated blooper reel.
Good to know. God bless.
But yeah, I did research on it because I looked at it and man, I forgot how much old Disney films used to do that, and I miss that because it was just something simple and funny towards the end to keep you stay till the end of the film, the very very end of the credits pretty much. But yeah. My review that I would give it is a 6.8. The graphics still hold up, but you can totally tell it's an older style animation because the colors are very solid on a single color on most characters, especially the ants. They're a solid, it kind of looks like a clay color.
Yeah.
But yeah. The characters' stories, I would say, carry the main story. Because honestly, the main story kind of lacks, but this background stories for each character kind of carries the whole film itself. I would say the amazing voice acting. Really good voice acting.
Really good. They're hamming it up.
For sure. I would say they, what was it? I would say they definitely have a lot of memorable actors in there. You saw in a lot of Disney movies, especially animation. A lot of it reoccurring from Toy Story to Bug's Life, but that's the amazing part of being part of the Disney family, I guess. But yeah, it's also really funny for a kids movie. A lot of hidden adult jokes, for sure, but it still really holds up. I will definitely say that one thing I've noticed from watching it again, because I haven't watched it since I was a kid, and then most recently I watched it today. One thing I noticed was I honestly didn't know that the circus bugs were even circus bugs. I just thought they were just funny little silly little insects that they just kind of threw into the film to make impact. I was just as gullible as the ants, I'll be honest with you. I thought they were cool and very talented. Of course they're talented in the circus way, but I thought they were really strong and all that.
Yeah. I didn't know any comments. Sorry.
No, you're good. What's your favorite character?
Ooh, I think what's Hopper. I felt that he was a pretty good villain, and he has Kevin Spacey kind of hamming it up.
Heck yeah, Kevin Spacey carries.
I really enjoyed his motivation. How he's not quite we need. It felt pretty real for a villain. Not doing it out of we need to keep feeding ourselves, but more to keep the ants in line.
Yeah.
To make sure that they secure their food source. It felt pretty real for a villain.
felt very real for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like the most dedicated villain out of most Disney characters, or Disney villain characters.
Yeah.
For sure. My favorite character would be Heimlich, which is a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. I don't know, I've always liked that character since I was a little kid. I thought that caterpillar was funny as heck.
He does have some pretty good moments, I will say. And I do like the German accent, specifically.
Oh, yeah. I would say my second favorite would have to be the ladybug. That is just such an amazing character. I would definitely say, like, a big impact on standards that should be accepted more often, for sure. That Ladybug brings out, which is awesome because it's very hinted in there. It's not like the focus, it's not like forced. Yeah. It's very hinted, but it's a character that I thought played very well out.
If we're noting at favorite second characters, I would also have to say the little princess Aunt Dot.
Oh my God, Dot is oh my gosh.
They did really well to avoid the annoying kid perspective and made the child
mature.
The child mature and let them have some pretty important character moments, and I really liked it.
Oh yeah, I definitely thought Dot would be the princess or the queen instead of Yeah. But yeah, you have any other comments that you'd like before we end this segment?
Nothing I can think of now.
Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoy this first segment. We'll be back on at 10:20. Enjoy the soundtrack of Bug's Life. This is WXUT AGA with the Plexi Film Show. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and
I'm also from Autumn.
Sorry, that was a horrible intro.
It is what it is.
And if you guys do not know, we are continuing talking about A Bug's Life. And in this segment, we're going to start talking about our favorite scenes along with some Easter eggs that I found along throughout the film. So, Autumn, do you want to start with your favorite scenes?
Yeah, we'll go with that. I really like the bird scene specifically because I think what they did well was, and one thing with kind of animation is if you keep it dark, it'll look better sometimes. And I felt with the bird scene, it was nice and dark. The lighting was kind of cool. Also, the scene felt fun and I guess active, and I like that, like the burning, the fire, I guess. I don't know. It felt very. I guess it was also fun. It was also nice because it was also enjoyable because it was at the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting scene, and I thought it was very well made.
I would agree with you on that one. I also do remember as a kid because like I said, I haven't watched it before today since my childhood. So for me, going back, I remember like most of these scenes because they're very iconic scenes. Yeah. I remember this being such a dark film, like serious as a kid. I don't know why, but I thought it was like a very. I mean, yeah, it's serious.
Yeah,
like
but it's not like gritty.
Not as dark as I thought. Like the reason I probably thought it was dark because the bird on fire towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always I remember looking back and like, man, I used to be scared in this scene and then go back.
I have another favorite scene, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also felt that the scene where they were saving Dot or whatever from the bird.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty. It was pretty fun because you got to see all the circus acts. They were using what they had with them. Their abilities. It was really interesting. It felt creative with how they did it, and I felt that it also had good pacing and action. So
they actually used their character and skills. Like with some films, I have to say some characters they'll be like, "Oh, I'm this," and they won't show their skills at all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like they're actually playing as the character who they are.
Yeah.
You have any other favorite scenes?
Nothing currently now.
My favorite scene, I have three of them. I'll be starting with when we first get introduced to the Circus X. So that whole, I think 5-minute segment, at least, of the whole film was so funny. There was just so much going on. I just thought it was so funny. especially with all the comments that are said throughout that whole scene, like you have to hear, because there's so much going on. It's like an overstim, so you have to like. I think I had to rewatch the scene a couple of times to hear everything that they all said, and some of the comments, there's some adult comments in there for sure.
Yeah.
Another one would have to be the most quotable scene that every kid remembers, which the fly going into the bug zapper scene. Of course, it's so beautiful. I remember quoting that scene a lot as a kid. Like, I don't know why, but I remember that scene being a lot longer too. But like, maybe that's because I rewatched it so many times as a kid. Maybe it's probably probably the reason why. But that scene never gets old. That never gets. Another scene, it's more of a more emotional scene. Dot coming back to let Flick know about the evil plan that is going on with Hopper and all of that. I just thought that scene was really innocent. Like, we finally get to see Dot learn how to fly. And just, you really see how much that Dot actually cares about Flick and how much of a help that Flick actually does, and Dot is the only one that sees that throughout the whole film. I just thought, like, when I see like those two characters interact throughout the whole film, I just think of like a big brother little sister type of vibe, or just like a little sibling type vibe, I should say.
Though it isn't a scene, I tried to watch it on like 3 different services. One was like a 360p upload on YouTube. It was really bad.
I just rented it for $4 on YouTube.
And then I went to this thing for the Internet Archive, which was a VHS upload of it. And on the VHS upload was upload was included was the Pixar animation that came before it. Which do you know the one that the old man playing chess?
Yes.
That honestly, I did not remember that Pixar animation being that like crazy. It felt really weird.
That short is amazing though.
It's a good short.
It's intense.
It's an intense short. But it just feels a bit like a fever dream.
It does.
I could like that as a scene, I guess.
I remember watching because Pixar started as a short film animation company. Like, they were like one of the first animated company
they did digital, like.
I think the first digital.
Yeah, fully digital. So
yeah. Which I don't know if you know the one Pixar short that they first came out with. Well, besides the chess one, I think it was the Big Baby one with the little drummer toy or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember that title of the short film, but I think that was one of the first for sure. Because I remember watching a lot of Pixar shorts. Like, I would go to the library and get that rental of the Pixar shorts all the time.
Those shorts were good.
So I think the most like depressing one that I remember is the one the tricycle. Not the tricycle, the unicycle, sorry.
Yeah.
That's such a very depressing short film. Like, watching that as a kid, I thought it was scary because when you're a kid, you don't know how to deal with sad. So to me, I thought that was scary. Like, what was going on? Like, you don't know how to comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, it was a pretty horrific scene.
But yeah, moving on to some of the references and Easter eggs that I found throughout the film and as well as search up. Just letting you guys know, I will be putting all the sources on my website. If you guys do not know what my website is, it is literally just AJ Reineck, or AJ Reineck, REINECK, WordPress.com. So if you just search that up, you should be able to find it. And it's in the WXUT tab, and it'll show up my show. So yeah, that's where all of them will be. So yeah. First references, Easter eggs, fun facts. It's kind of throw them all in one category because it's kind of hard to just separate them out because they're all like facts filtered in along with Easter eggs. Anywho, November 95th was the first film to include A113 in it, which was, I think Toy Story? I think Toy Story is, if I remember correctly. Let me look it up. In Ratatouille? No. It was... Because, if I remember correctly, it was Toy Story. That was in it. I forgot to write down what film. That's my bad. But, like, A113 appeared in this movie as well. Because, you know, it's the most iconic Easter egg that you see.
Of course.
Because, you know, A113 is their studio letter and number. So, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that was, I think, Disney and Pixar's studio number.
Sick.
And they just included it in a bunch of their films.
God bless.
First film, this was the first film to include outtakes / bloopers. Like I said before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the quote, the twig of 93 that was referenced at the beginning at the film.
Yeah, I remember.
It was like when the leaf fell down and the general comes up
yeah.
front, like helping them. They referenced the twig of 93. It was like some conspiracy theory, like they could have been referencing Nightmare Before Christmas coming out in that came out in 1993, but it's actually referencing an earthquake that happened in LA in 1993. So, I thought that was really, really interesting that they threw that in there. I'm guessing like that was a big impact for the company themselves or something like that.
I would assume so.
The big tree that, you know, is centralized in Bug's life is also in other is in other famous Disney movies. Do you want to take a guess?
The big tree. No, I got nothing. I'm gonna be honest.
Toy Story 2, the flashback scene of Jessie on the hill.
I haven't seen Toy Story 2 in a hot minute. it's been a while. It's been a while.
But yeah, that tree is also in, you know, that one.
Yeah.
Anywho, we've reached our 10-minute mark. I'll continue our topic when we come back. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show.
This is Autumn.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Autumn.
Yeah. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show in Autumn, and we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll see you back on at 10:40. So, yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Enjoy listening to the soundtrack of A Bug's Life. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is AJ.
And this is Autumn.
And this is a Plexi Film Show where I talk about and analyze movies, aka films, TV shows, and video games. We're continuing on with A Bug's Life. And like before, we're going to be continuing on the segment of Easter eggs, references, and fun facts about the film. And then after this, we're going to continue on with some theories that I found.
Ooh.
And this one was, I would have to say, was probably the hardest film so far to find theories. There really wasn't much theories like within the film itself. It mainly focused on Hopper and like some very controversial, like more like how he was running things.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of deep dove into that, and I didn't really care about that much. That's too much for me to talk about because I'm not knowledgeable in that stuff, so I kind of just didn't feel like that was my part and to talk about. But yeah. Continuing on, Manny the Magician, you know, the old Chinese takeout box that he used for every like magic act that he did. You can see in every like in other films such as Toy Story, Ratatouille, and Inside Out. And in the end credits of Inside Out, you can see the Chinese restaurant or like place in the like outro where the credits are in Inside Out, which is really cool that you finally get to see what like company or brand it's from. I just find that really funny. Because do they even still do those specific types of takeout boxes with the little wire handle? You don't really see them much anymore.
Yeah, mostly switched to like plastic boxes, kind of, which is unfortunate. I did like, although I'm sure there are still places that use that sort of that style, but it's unfortunate, you know.
It was just I don't even remember the slight transition. It just kind of feels like a Mandela effect. It feels like it hasn't like
Like,
been
it
a
was
thing
never
in a
there.
long time. Like it kind of just feel like we never had that. Kind of just disappeared. Another one, which is a slug scene, or the slug scene at the tavern or bar, whatever you want to call it, saying, "I said," or "I said no salt," referencing that slugs can't actually have salt because it would kill them.
I did like that joke. That was
Really funny.
That got a chuckle out of me.
Because I remember that scene, but I never understood what that joke meant. I'm not a big insect person. I don't know much about them. And I looked it up that they're actually like allergic to, or they die from salt. Yeah. And that's funny that they incorporated a lot of realistic facts and terms into a bug's life, which I find really awesome, is that they like did a lot of research about bugs and insects to make it work.
Yeah, I would assume so. It's part of the job.
Fair enough. All right. Some of the first theory that I found is who's the actual true villain. Like, it's obvious that it's Hopper, but it's also not. This theory hinted that the Queen was actually the villain. Yeah, which I find funny, because you don't really see much of her. But think about it. She never agreed on the ideas of what Flick had. She always like, no, don't do that, or not in terms, or whenever she did talk to Flick, it was always very sarcastic. Like, she never cared. She kind of was very like self-centered around her reputation more than anything else.
So. Also, to throw my little hat in the ring, it seems kind of odd that she's been the Queen for like all this time, and
there's still like
hasn't questioned the Hopper thing, hasn't like thought that maybe we could beat the ants, and or beat the grasshoppers. It just seems sort of. It just seems like she's given up too easily, you know.
There was a deal, I don't know if you remember, but there was a deal made between her and Hopper, and it just never was told what it was in the film. But we were just told that there was a deal that they made.
Huh.
Like, the deal was, you feed us and we'll protect you. That was the deal. But what happened beforehand to make that deal a thing?
Yeah, like from what?
It's just something that you never really thought about, but
yeah.
When especially when Flick comes to the truth about the circus bugs, everyone finds out. She blames him, even though he still tried. He didn't know himself until a few minutes later. So he thought it was doing good, and
it's all your fault. Even though we all kind of believed it, even though we didn't fact check you, it's all your fault.
It's all your fault. I blame you.
Yeah, it's your fault that I was ignorant.
That's exactly how that works, right?
Obviously.
Another theory that I found is Hopper is a great villain. We kind of hinted on this earlier and talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
He uses Thumper as an insane grasshopper. Oh, if you don't be good, I'll use Thumper on you. He never himself, I'll beat you up, but I have this guy over here that will. He's using manipulation as his objective, and as to fear everyone else, when he must have had something traumatic happen to him that he doesn't want to reveal it to everyone else, and he's just hiding it and all that. He's very good at psychological and great manipulator. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah.
He makes lies. He clearly lied about a lot, especially along with the deal.
Oh yeah. He felt very smart for a villain.
Very smart for a villain, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, I think what you've laid out has been put it well enough. His intelligence and his cunning, dare I say?
Yeah. I'm reading what I wrote down. He pretty much uses, his weakness. His strength is trying to control the ants and the grasshopper. Like, that's what he wants to do. And once he has the grasp of their control, they won't see, like, how weak he is. So he's, like, using that dominance to hide his weakness. And if he's seen through a little bit, Hopper then will like, assert dominance by showing them threat in a sort of way. Like, if you remember the tavern towards Aeon, he just kind of, like, I don't want to say this, he kind of killed 3 of his people.
Yeah, just to make an example.
Just to show what would happen if you mess with him.
Don't question him, sort of thing.
Don't question him. Oh, what villain was it that if you questioned him, he would literally, like... It was an animated movie. I can't remember what it was.
There's a couple villains, but...
I can't remember. But there was a villain exactly like him, like, if you just question... what he's doing. Oh, I mean, this is an example of it. Good Burger. If you question, am I stupid? No. Good. Like, it's just kind of like that same mentality of, oh, I am superior, and if you think I'm wrong, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, very authoritarian stance.
Exactly. He's afraid people would actually see through his illusions that he's living in. Like, he's clearly afraid of the bird.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the first time, he didn't see through the illusion because he usually sees other people's illusions while people can't, try to phase through his illusions. But after all this time, everyone else is just kind of given up because of all these fake illusions that they're living in, and they're seeing through the illusion for once and seeing how fake he really is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It felt really good to see him get just piled on by a bunch of ants.
Oh, yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
Out of all the villains in Disney, he's also, like, the most realistic. Like, how would a person, real life, like, villain would actually react in a situation like this.
I also like specifically that he's a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Ants. So it's an extortion plot instead of, like, threatening to eat you all or whatever. It's really interesting. I like that he extorts them instead of,
Yeah, I know what you meant, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it for this segment. The next segment, we're going to be talking about more Easter eggs that I was able to find.
Ooh.
So yeah, stay tuned. I'll be back on at 11:10, or I'll start at 11:05, considering we started late because of in-person issues that we had in the studio. But yeah, we got that fixed. So yeah, we'll see you back on at 11:05. This is WXUT, the Plexi Film Show. See ya. Hello guys, welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is AJ back with the Plexi Film Show. Just letting you guys, Autumn had to go home. They had to go to bed. They were getting tired, but that's okay. Everyone needs their sleep. The show, especially, is up late at night. It's 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. So I completely understand, but I'm glad they were able to come on the show. I appreciate anyone that just comes on the show or even piques an interest on being on the show. So if you guys are interested on being in the show whenever, and you guys either want to be in person, if you're nearby, or, the easiest thing to do is call the studio. But if you want to, call on the phone and be on live, call the studio at 419-530-4455. That's the in the studio phone. So if you ever wanted to call in while I'm talking, feel free to call that number whenever, from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. It could either be during a break or whenever I'm just in the middle of talking. It doesn't even matter. I'm willing to have you guys on whenever and just enjoy and have a good time. So yeah. We are continuing on with more Easter eggs that I was able to find throughout the film. Princess Ada is also based on the Ada ant or insect which is a genus leaf cutter ants in the western hemisphere of the world, which I think is really cool that this film really dug deep when it came to insects. Like, it was probably the best bet that they did so they can incorporate an actual closest adaptation of how insects react and characters. I just find that really cool. Hopper smells with antennas, which is how grasshoppers, actually smell as well, because the grasshoppers' receptor neurons are located in their antennas, which helps them smell. Queen's pet, named Affy, is modeled after aphids, which they have relationships with the ants, as in they're willing to, that they help each other out, either closely to, get food or shelter. Overall, they have good relationships with each other in the real world. And then, of course, as we see, it's a pet to the queens. So I find that really cool. Thumper, the grasshopper, is named after Thumper from Bambi because of, Brad Bird, I think? Or one of the directors or producers really liked Thumper and thought, why not name one of the characters Thumper? Because he's, Thumper, is crazy because he's a locust in the swarming phase. He's not entirely fully, developed. So I find that really cool to figure out that there's a reason for that. I just find that really cool. And some other Easter eggs that I didn't write down, but I figured out on my own. I took pictures of them. I was able to find 4 of them, which I might throw in the notes. I don't know if you guys would be interested, but I might include it, but we'll see. I might. Of course, the most iconic truck, Pizza Planet truck, and the trailer, which is doomed to be where, the pizza delivery guy actually lives, which is where you also see the bug zapper in that one scene, along with seeing this scene in Monsters, Inc. as well. When Flick goes into, quote, the city, it's set up like the, New York Times Square, which is really funny. And some of the brands' names are based off of the kids born around this time that the movie was either being developed or made or came out, which I find really cool. And then, of course, you see the Lion King logo in the far right. It's not the far right, but it's on the right side of the picture. It's where you would normally see the Lion King musical in Times Square, which I find that really cool. And another Easter egg / reference that is pointed out in Bug's Life is when Ladybug, I don't remember the actual character's name, picks up the stick bug, as in pulling out the sword and the stone. It's kind of glorified in that scene, which I find that really funny and really cool, as to clarify that, Flick thinks they're special, they're all special, and they're, really good at, or, he thinks they're heroes. And you realize that once he goes back to, the anthill, and he realized that they're actually circus ants, which is really cool. And then I already talked about A113, but yeah, those are all the Easter eggs I was able to find. I have 2 more segments that I would love to go on about, but so yeah, that's it for this segment. I'll be on at 11:20. It's 11:12 currently right now. Sorry for a really short segment, but that's okay. I started late because of the incident that happened earlier, but we got that all fixed, and we're going to be trying to continue the rest of the show. So yeah, please enjoy the rest of the soundtrack. We have about 2 or 3 songs. I'm going to probably restart the whole soundtrack so you can listen to it again, because the whole soundtrack is really good. So yeah, this is it for this segment. I'll be going on to the reviews next, as well as starting back with the weather once I come back on. So yeah, this is WXUT 88.3 with the Plexi Film Show. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, where I analyze and deep dive into films, movies, TV shows, and video games. I'll be continuing on with the weather, considering I forgot to do it at 11, so I'll be doing it now. So let me see what the week's weather is like, the highs and the lows. Monday is going to be high in 63, low of 46, with 3% chance of rain. Tuesday, high of 58, 43 is the low, 63% chance of rain. Wednesday, high of 52, low of 32, with 18% of rain. Thursday, high of 52, low 33, and 7% chance of rain. Friday, high 58 and low 39, with 5% chance of rain. And then Saturday is high of 55, low 43, with 25% chance of rain. And then Sunday with high of 53, low 41, with 55% chance of rain. That is this week. And then tonight, or aka today, is going to be ending with high 38 and low 35 with 0% chance of rain. So yeah, that's this week and today's weather report. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call the studio. So yeah, that's the weather for this week. I'll be continuing on with our beautiful show. I had one question. Like I said, I'd be continuing on every week towards the end of the show, considering after this segment, it will be the end of the show, but I will still be playing music. I'll still be in the studio, so if you guys ever call the studio, that'll have extra time for you guys to call in and ask me questions or talk about and enjoy the show with me. But the question is, what's your favorite bug? I really wish I asked this at the beginning so Autumn and I could have talked about this. This would have been fun. But my favorite bug is the dragonfly. I don't know why, but dragonflies are just really pretty. I don't know why, but whenever I see them, they just make me excited. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing. I don't know. I think it was one thing I heard a while ago where a dragonfly means like a lost family member or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or if that's your beliefs. I just remember hearing about it and I just found it interesting. And I don't know, I just kind of felt whenever I see it, I just feel spiritually connected to it because I barely see it. Same thing with robin in Ohio. I don't know why, but I never see him. But when I do, I just like, holy crap. I finally got to see one. That is awesome. I just kind of, appreciate the moment, kind of just think about, how I've been and how I've been feeling, and kind of just use it as kind of a check-in point for me. That's what you do whenever I see dragonfly or robin. And then continuing on with this last segment, I'll be continuing on with going on to the reviews. And I'll be searching that up real quick. And let me go ahead. Ratings for Bug's Life. So for the movie on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 92%. With Common Sense Media is a 5 out of 5. That is awesome. IMDb with a 7.2 out of 10. That's pretty good because I rated this film a 6.8. So they appreciate it more than I did, I guess. I don't know. Out of 5 stars, it has a 4.2 out of 5 stars, which is really good. So yeah, I'll be reading the audience reviews now. Why It Rocks. For Pixar's second film, they were able to make lightning strike twice right after making the first film, Toy Story. The film's animation is quite visually stunning by late 90s standards and holds up very well today. The film's Copland's-esque score done by Randy Newman is very memorable and superb, especially for the main theme in the end credit song, The Time of Your Life. Many of the film's characters are cute and likable. Oh, where is it? Oh, wow. This person goes in depth with each character. Many of the film's characters are cute and likable, such as optimistic Flick, the loyal and helpful Princess Ada, the friendly and cute Dot, and then their new friends, the circus bugs, who helps them defeat the grasshoppers. Sorry for that voice crack. That was very unusual. I want to try to... Yeah, the circus bugs have well-developed characters with a ton of personality for sure. I want to see if I can find one for... They don't have him or them. I don't know what gender the caterpillar is. I don't know. Which is... How am I forgetting the character's name? Heimlich. Didn't have one for Heimlich. I want to try to find a very short one. All right. These are all really thought out. Okay, here's a short one. I've watched the Pixar animated film a lot of times, and it's really good. The voice acting is great, like I said before. It is really good. From Kevin Spacey and Dennis Leary themselves. My favorite character is Frances, a grumpy, aggressive ladybird. That is understandable. I used to have it on VHS. Wow, that's awesome. I really wish I could have had A Bug's Life on VHS, but sadly I only had it on DVD. But sadly, it went to charity about years ago. Oh, that is not fun. I hate when that happens. Anyway, it's probably one of the best Pixar films of all time. I agree. I want to see if I can find low rates. Let's go with 2 stars. Honestly, think it's trash. I'm a 2000s kid and I've watched it so many times, but looking back at it all, it's honestly so creepy. I know it's meant for kids, but seriously, it's better to just second to 2D bugs are going to have detail. Creepy, but still did the job for when I was a kid, I guess. I mean, I understand if you think it's creepy because it's a 3D animation, but, like, you really determine the film's sake because it's in 3D instead of 2D. I don't know. I mean, I just personally think the 3D works for the film. That's just me, though. This movie is kind of boring. It'll always go in my least favorite Pixar movies, but at the same time, it's sort of interesting. Okay, is it either boring or interesting? You can't have both. You gotta have one or the other. The animation is a little off, and the characters have weird motives, but they are understandable, the movies. But the story is cute and cool enough to get 2 stars. I get it. It is a very, like, basic storyline. It doesn't, like, force the main story down your throat. I get that if you don't think it's really impactful. I feel like it's one of those films that is focused on the characters' stories more than the main story, which I personally like because I didn't care for the main story itself because it's just simplified as in we need to get food for grasshoppers and keep ourselves protected. That's pretty, and, helping Flick's self-esteem, but, like, the characters make the story. I just feel like the characters is what makes the film. Okay, this comment is true. Ants and Bug's Life is a copycat. It's because during the time there were competing companies, still are, but, like, I was just competing at the time because whatever came out first is going to get more attraction than the other. But then, of course, how the audience reacts is what determine which one's better, which is A Bug's Life is more popular than Ants. Or to the people around me, and I've hung around with people who think A Bug's Life is better than Ants. I personally don't remember Ants that much. I might have watched it 1 or twice. I probably will talk about Ants in a future episode. But, yeah. I really like this movie, but I think Ants was much better. Good plot, but it's a little creepy for a kid's movie. Too many ants, just for a 2-star. I'm skipping that question. Or skipping that comment. I want to see if there's just 1-star ratings. Terrible, just terrible. There's some good messages. Yeah, it can Yeah, it just can't hold up. Sad, Disney, sad. 1998 film Frozen. Frozen. You spelled Cinderella wrong. I'm sorry. Pinocchio. Same with Pinocchio. 1940. I don't know what that person's going on about. It is dark comedy in my whole family. In my whole life, it's bad. Okay, I'm rereading the comment. It is dark comedy in my whole life, it's bad. Okay. That is a horrible comment. Bugs have filled my room and invaded. Nope, I'm not finishing that. School won't let me look at the images for Bugs Life? That's crazy. It's my nightmare and my nightmare and my nightmare and my nightmare and not my nightmare. Dude, are you okay? You want to talk about it? What did Bugs Life do to you? Alright, most of them were just kind of saying the same stuff. It's so bad, and it's a copycat. So I'll be finishing the show. I hope you guys all enjoyed this as much as I did. I really hope you guys all can be on the show at least some point. If you guys ever want to call in live in studio, call the in studio line, which is 419-530 and 4455, either during a break or when I'm speaking. But if you want to be on the show, I am on show on Sundays from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Next week is Easter, so I'll not be having a show. I'll be back right after that, which will be April 7th is the next time I'll be on. So yeah, this is the Plexi Film Show. If you have any ideas of what I should talk about in future future episodes, please DM me on Instagram at AJ_Reineck, REINECK. So yeah, please feel intrigued, or please feel free to send whatever my way of anything that you want me to talk about in future episodes. So yeah, I'll be playing the soundtrack of Bugs Life still until 12 o'clock. I know we ended really early, but there wasn't much I could have talked about considering Autumn left a little bit early. I still feel like this episode would have ended early, but I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. This film is definitely a nostalgia trip to go back to, something I never thought I'd go back to, but I was just recommended it by one of my friends, and I was like, why not bring it back? It's been a while since I watched it, so I did. The next episode I'll be talking about is Jurassic Park, the 1993 version, so the very first Jurassic. So yeah, stay tuned on April 7th. I'll be talking about that. So yeah, I love you guys all so much. This is the Plexi Film Show with AJ, and this is WXUT 88.3.